Morning. People always say, why don't you do us the decency and the favor of, after waking up, showering and making yourself presentable? But because I don't do this for other people. I mean, I do, but I don't. But the primary reason I'm half groggy half the time is I find that doing these videos, it's like a good wake-up thing. You just can't, it's like starting a car in 20 below weather. You can't just fire up the car and go driving. You gotta warm it up a bit. So that's what I do. Anyway, I got my notes here. A couple people, when more than one person sends me something, I kind of like, well, something's going on here. They sent me a video by a gentleman called Glendon Cameron about whether or not William Mary is a good school, or William and Mary. And it presented the father's dilemma, so if you could look it, I'll link to it below. But he had a question, and I thought, oh, well, is William Mary a good college? I thought that's what it was going to be about. It is, sort of, but it brought up a more important question, especially for men. So I will address these two issues. One, whether or not William Mary is a good school, and then the problem. William and Mary, I don't know. Don't really know. And in the context of your question, basically Mr. Cameron has a friend, male friend, who is a father, and his daughter is about to go off to William and Mary. And he, it's pricey. I think Glendon quoted it like $30,000 a year, or some egregious price. And the answer is, it's not whether the school is worth it, it's whether the degree is worth it. And frankly, I don't think any school is worth 30 grand. I don't care if you're majoring in chemical engineering or becoming a surgeon. That's just unacceptable, but that's another debate about tuition inflation. The key thing is, what is this guy's daughter intending in majoring in? And this is very important for fathers, because this is where fathers got to come in. This is where you got to set aside emotion, you got to set aside what your daughter's feelings are, and then the wifey, they get in there and they got touchy-feely, they got girl think going on. This is not to be sexist, this is just how it is. And yeah, you get their dreams and happiness, and usually the fathers are the ones ending up with the bill, or disproportionately having to work to pay for that bill. The daughter wants to major in social work. No. That is what's really important, what you're going to major in. I wrote a whole book on it called Worthless, and this is an absolute must for everybody, because college is so expensive now. It's not just the kid that's going to go take on student loans, but I've seen, this is very common, you'll see it now, heck, there's even articles about it, about baby boomers who are, they either went back to college later on in life and they have student debts and there's no way they can retire, or their daughters, sons, or their children, for whatever reason, parents decide to pay their kids' way through college, and then they cripple, and in the process of doing so, take on a ton of debt and cripple their retirement. They just can't retire at 65, let alone 70. All right. So it's a scam, guys. It is a scam. This university education thing is a scam. I'm not saying education is a bad thing, but you got these really 30 grand a year. If we really cared about kids and we really cared about the future, we'd investigate this like we do oil executives and have panels and the cigarette companies. But no. This is for the children. It's for the children, you understand? How dare you be against education? You evil Nazi, you. Anyway, so if you're looking for advice, the first thing you gotta do is tell that daughter, no, you're not majoring in social work. You got to pick a degree that makes sense. Engineering, the sciences, the trades, accounting, actuarial science, something like that. And that's a huge problem. All these kids they're blowing dirt up their chute from K through 12 about they're going to be wonderful people and going to be so successful, and they just follow their heart and the money will follow. And then, no, that's not how the labor market works. Right? What's in demand is, I always said it, this is very simple. Go out and look what people want to buy on their Christmas list. Look at what people are going to have to buy because they need it. Gas, oil, electricity. And then go major in something that makes that stuff. Okay? A lot of women are very prone to choosing worthless degrees because they think it's going to be easy and fun. Majoring in elementary education, child psychology, never getting the doctorate. Social work is another one, okay? This is where you got to man up, become a real father, say, dear, let's look at starting salaries. Right? So that's one thing. So it's not the school. It's what the child is going to go major in. Now the second thing, and this is where Mr. Cameron goes on into a whole different problem that's underlying this problem of what to major in. He's kind of gun-shy paying his daughter's way through college for this, that's a symptom, is that the wife is a social worker and has told her daughter that she should go into social work, and that they're begging and pleading this gentleman, the father, to pay for it. Now this guy, he's an entrepreneur, he's the only one who does any real work, and I'm sorry, Mr. Cameron, being very blunt and direct. Social work is not a real job. As you will find out, and it's not, don't take this the wrong way because you're black, but social work, most social work is kind of affirmative action, make work government jobs for women. A lot of it is. It's not a real job. They've never solved any problems. If you look at the various problems, different, the lower classes of society, that social work and all these trillions of dollars we've been spending was supposed to fix, they haven't. That she's deluded. She's in a bubble, just like there was a housing bubble, an education bubble, a .com bubble. The money isn't going to be there to keep that up. We just don't have the money to do that. And just look at search social. There's a gal who's got like $200,000 in debt. She has her master's in social work and she can't find a job. So this may sound hard and cruel, but it's not harsh or cruel or hard or evil or bad. It's actually quite caring. This is what fatherly love is. You have to say no at times. You have to say your dreams are not feasible. And because the consequence is this, if not your daughter, but his daughter goes majors in this and takes on a ton of debt, and unlike mommy doesn't get hired, she could end up like this other gal, $200,000 in debt, no job. Well, the father's going to end up $200,000 in debt. The daughter's just going to hate him because she can't find a job, so working as a barista. So that's what the father's got to get. This guy has got to stand up. He's got to get a spine and say no. Now, continuing on the second part, the father who, for some reason, he didn't have a degree. He's an entrepreneur. He's the one making the money. It wasn't clear what he did for a living, but now he's finally getting on. He's an entrepreneur. He's successful. He's banking $30,000 a year for retirement. Awesome. Well, for the first time, like past 2 years, he's actually been making money. Well, look. Now the wife and kid come grubbing out for money. The guy's like, dude, you gotta take care of number one. You're not gonna be an effective parent if you can't even take care of yourself, because then you gotta take care of your kid. Your kid's gotta take care of you. So he's the only one doing a real job. He's the only one that knows how the real world works, and his instincts are correct. He should not pay for this kid's degree, because it's an insult to the father. And this gets to the nub or the rub or the hub or whatever of the thing point I'm trying to make. You got to get women's spending in control. Take the daughter out of the equation. Every late teen daughter, what, budget, math? Oh my goodness, I just want money. But the wife should know better. And she doesn't, obviously, because this guy did not train his wife appropriately. You have to talk to Dr. Walter E. Williams and talk about wife training. And it basically boils down to this. Women are horrible with money. I don't want to see any comments. I know this one woman, and she knows she's very good with money, and her husband spends all the money. I'm saying in general, depending on what statistics you want to look at, in general, women are horrible with money. And we could go on why that is. Women are designed to spend resources. Men are designed to build up resources because, women have children and Darwinism and evolution. Okay, we can go that route. But more statistically speaking, depending on the statistics you want to pull, women account for about 80% of consumer spending. I prefer to go based on these things right here called eyes and what I see. And in my financial work, women buy the dumbest shit. Men tend to invest. We'll buy a car, we'll buy a tool set, we'll buy tools, we'll buy things that help us accomplish and make money and make other things. Women, dude, no guy buys Jimmy Choo shoes. I don't think there's a male equivalent. I'm not saying there ain't high-tailored, high-end clothing that you can piss $1 million like P. Diddy does. But we just don't in general. I've looked at working in banking. I've seen financial statements and balance sheets, and women just buy the dumbest shit. You give a woman, she can make $100,000. That's a really good salary. She'll spend $120,000. She will, because she got to compete against the other girls. Right? It is the man's responsibility And unless there's some cases where the women are better leaders, and that's okay. You know, and it works great. So the guy's kind of more timid, and the woman's more disciplined. Or you have the guy who actually is a spendthrift, and he's just out boozing it up, and the woman kind of brings him in, brings him back in line. That does happen. That's not the majority of the cases. The majority of the cases, the girls are out partying, pissing away money. They look for a guy that's got money. That should be your indicator right there. And then the guy has got to bail her out of her mistakes. Okay. So men in general, this is the overarching lesson, men in general have to learn to say no. You have to train your wives. First, you should pick the right one. That's usually a good way to make your life a little bit easier down the road, or whoever you're dating. But then even the best ones, I mean, not to be too personal, I date an accountant, and even I'm like, sweetheart, no. Now, women will put up this emotional thing. It's my money. How dare you? Dude, really? You say no. You hold the line. Say, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're not doing that. No, we're not getting that. You buy that, you're out. Right? This is my house. If if it's your house, even if you go 50-50 on it, this is my house. Oh, it's a fight that's got to be had. But somebody has to be the authority, a responsible authority, a fiscal authority. And this guy obviously hasn't done it. He lets his daughter and wife run all over him. There were some other issues. But in general, men, you have to pick the right girl, but then you have to make sure they don't spend more than they make, more than you make. Another one reason that they cite for problems with divorce and marital problems is finances. And a plurality, at least a majority I'd say, of the time that's started by the women. Okay. So, how do you do it? There's no easy way. There is an easy way. You just say no. No, we're not. And guys, look, being a man is not supposed to be easy. You can make it easy on yourself. But in general, we're the people in society that have to hold everyone else to standards. Children and women. Not saying women can't do it. Sometimes women have to hold men. But in general, based on the olden days and how societies worked and when it worked best, we were the patriarch. And that's a bad word in academia, but it's a good word here and in the real world. You have to say no. Forget emotions. Oh, don't you love me? Yeah, I do love you. That's why I'm telling you no. Right? Not all medicine is sweet. Ice cream, and okay. If I eat this ice cream, I'll lose weight. Yes, dear, whatever you want. And you know what? In the end, I mean, for this guy, it's probably too late because it sounds like there's way too much stuff going on. But as a benefit, using your friend as an example, for other young men who haven't screwed up their lives, choose correctly, but then always stick to your guns. And finances, boys, it's absolutely necessary. I mean, put together a personal budget. I'm not saying go and audit her financial statements, but there are other things you can do without invading her privacy. Like you find out they have student loans. You never marry a girl with student loans. Okay, these broads, they're like almost 40 years old, still got student loans. Like, really, ladies? Really? You're so intelligent and smart and educated, you couldn't do basic math. So from 22 to 40, that's 18 years, and you couldn't amortize and pay off your student loans? Well, they could. They chose not to because they got a handbag. It's a beautiful handbag. See, that handbag 18 years ago, they got rid of it 17 years ago, and they replaced it with a new handbag. And they got rid of that one 15 years ago. And then, you have to get a handbag every 18 months. You'll see. The car? Women always have nicer cars. They always had nicer cars. Oh, and apartments. They have nicer apartments, and they fill it with trinkets and crap they don't need. I mean, they have to have matching furniture. Really, walk into the average girl's apartment in her 20s and walk into the average guy's apartment in his 20s. A girl will have to have her own apartment. Guys, heck, we'll split a house. We'll share sleep on a couch. Is it as nice? No, but we're the ones saving money. We're the ones paying off our student loans. So that's it. That's all I got. I hope, Glendon, that helps your buddy out. I think it's a little bit too late, but maybe your concern will help save others, and hopefully this video will do that as well. Oh, and by the way, everyone who's listening, you should buy my book, Worthless, because it's very germane to this topic we're talking. You kids, And that's another thing. For you fathers out there who don't know how to approach this with your kids, I got this book. I like to explain it as like I'm the good cop, bad cop. Like you're the good cop, I'm the bad cop. And all you have to do, if you don't have the spine, and I am picking on you, so you do grow spine. But if you don't have the spine, you don't know how to approach this topic with your kids, go buy my book, Worthless. You can find it on Amazon. It's cheap. And say, look, this jerk, this asshole, I don't like him personally, but he's got a couple good points in this book. And then, you give it to them, and then they can take their hate out on me because they'll never run into me. And then you're the good guy. You're, oh, Dad, thanks, Dad. And then maybe some of it sticks in here. So that's all we got. Toodles.